Hey everyone and welcome back. Now in today's video, we will be discussing about the CloudFormation deletion policies. So deletion policies plays to be a very important role specifically in your production environments. So let me give you one simple example of a deletion policy in Windows. Now in Windows, whenever you right click on a file and you click on delete, what Windows will do is it will not automatically delete the file. It will place it under the recycle bin where it can be still recoverable. However, if you go with the shift delete, then it will go ahead and permanently delete it and not put it inside the recycle bin. So similarly, even CloudFormation has various aspects of deletion policy which you can use within your template. So let's go ahead and understand about the deletion policies. Now generally by default, whenever you go ahead and do a stack deletion, what CloudFormation will do is CloudFormation will terminate all the resources which are part of this specific stack. However, CloudFormation also allows us to have a configurable behavior when it comes to the deletion of the resources. So with the help of an attribute of a deletion policy, we can change this default behavior. So there are two major attributes which CloudFormation provides. One is of type snapshot and second is of type retain. So let's go ahead and understand more about them. Now we were discussing about the default behavior of CloudFormation. So let's take an example of this where we have a stack 1 and within this stack 1 you have EC2 instance, you have load balancer, you have S3 bucket and you have a RDS database. So in this default behavior, when you delete this stack, when you delete this stack 1, what will happen is CloudFormation will delete all the resources which are associated with the stack 1. So this is the default behavior. However, during lot of scenarios, there can be a need where you don't really need a default behavior. So let's take one more example of this. So this is of type of deletion policy and the attribute name is retain. So what happens with the retain attribute is whenever you have a resource which is created with a retain attribute, CloudFormation will not delete the resource even if the stack is deleted. Very important part to remember. So in this stack 1, so this is a stack 1 and within this stack 1 you have this S3 bucket which is created. So whenever you do a call of delete stack 1, however, if the S3 bucket has a retain deletion policy, the S3 bucket will not get deleted. So let's do one thing. Before we go ahead and understand the second deletion attribute, let's do a practical of this and understand on how exactly this would work. So I'll go to my desktop and I'll open up the s3.txt. So this is the s3.txt that we were working on earlier. So this is a bucket. Now, by default, whenever you terminate the stack, the S3 bucket associated with the stack will also get deleted. However, in today's lecture, we'll speak about the deletion policy attribute. So what we'll do, I'll add a deletion policy and the attribute name is of type retain. Alright, and I'll click on save. So now let's go to the CloudFormation. I'll click on create a new stack. I'll do a browse. I'll select S3. Let me name this as fact retain. And let's create the S3 resource. So this will go ahead and create a S3 bucket. However, the S3 bucket which will be created, it will have a retain as a deletion policy attribute. Perfect. So the S3 bucket is created. So just to quickly verify, I'll sort by the date created. Let me just refresh. And this is the bucket which was created just now. So now let's do one thing. Let's delete the entire stack and see on what happens. So now if you see over here, let's just wait for a moment. The stack is deleted. Now if I go to S3 and let me do a refresh and you see the bucket really exists still now. So if you think I am cheating, let me just refresh the entire page so that there is no possibility of me cheating. Now if you see, the bucket is still there. that basically means that even though the stack is deleted, the S3 bucket still remains. So this is what the deletion policy of retain is all about. So let's do one thing. Let's go back to the presentation and speak about one more deletion policy of type snapshot. So when you have a deletion policy of snapshot, what CloudFormation will do is CloudFormation will take a snapshot of the resource before terminating it. So again, let's take an example. You have a stack 1 and you have this MySQL database here. And this MySQL database has a deletion policy of snapshot. So now what will happen is you make a call, delete stack 1. Now the CloudFormation will see that, alright, the RDS database has a deletion policy of snapshot. So what it will do, it will take a snapshot of this specific RDS database, and then once the snapshot is complete, it will then go ahead and delete the original database. So this is what the deletion policy of snapshot is all about. So let's go back to the practical and see how exactly this would work like. Now, one important part to understand is that snapshot deletion policy cannot be applied to each and every resource. It only applies to specific resource where snapshotting is possible, like RDS databases or like EBS volume. So those are the places where snapshot feature is available, and this specific snapshot attribute can only be applied there. So let's do one thing. I have a file called as ebs.txt. This is a simple file which creates the EC2 volume. This is a EBS volume and the size is 5 GB within the availability zone US East 1A. Now, if you'll note over here, I have a deletion policy of type snapshot. Perfect. So let's do one thing. Let's try it out. So I'll go to a create stack. I'll upload the ebs.txt. I'll say pack-snapshot. And I'll click on create. Perfect. So it is creating a EBS volume of size 5 GB. So till the time it creates, let's go to the EC2. We'll go to the volumes and we'll see that one volume is available of type 5 GB. So let's quickly refresh this page and the creation is completed. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and delete the stack. So as we know, since we have applied a deletion policy attribute, what CloudFormation should do, it should create a snapshot of the EBS volume before terminating it. And as you can see over here, EC2 snapshot process has started and this will create a snapshot of the EBS volume. So within the snapshot, you see there is one snapshot of 5 GIB and the status is completed. So this is the snapshot which the CloudFormation has taken. And once the snapshot has been completed, now the delete complete is associated with the EC2 volume. And now you see the stack is deleted, and this is what the deletion policy of snapshot is all about. I hope you understood the two types of deletion policies which are offered by CloudFormation and which we can use for our environment. So this is it about this lecture. I hope this has been informative for you, and in the next video we will be discussing about the CloudFormation interesting functions. So I hope this has been informative for you, and I'll see you in the next video.